Hello everyone, podcast 442, the new episodes in English. All our subscribers or our followers can hear Mario today speak in English.
Yeah, hello everybody. I'm very happy to be here. First time to do our podcast abroad, and I'm very excited.
Yes, and we are not alone today. We have, we are guests of Evaldas today here in Lithuania. Evaldas, nice to meet you.
Thank you very much for being my guest. Good point. But actually, you invited me to this to your podcast. So yes, I'm very glad to be here, and I'm prepared to hear about Estonian football and to share my knowledge about Lithuanian football as well.
Yes, this is the most important topic for us. We are in Lithuania. Obviously, we're here for Žalgiris match. The vlog about it will come a bit later. Hopefully, if they let us into the stadium. But before we start talking about Lithuanian football, maybe you can briefly explain who you are, what you're doing, how are you connected with Lithuanian football?
Okay, I'm a sports journalist. Background like 15 years of working in the sports. I'm not exactly football journalist, but in Lithuania we don't have only football journalists, but I'm working mainly with football. We have a podcast with two other guys, two other sports journalists and commentators, Aurimas and Naglis, a podcast called Futbolas LT, or Lithuanian Football, let's say, put in that. And I had the experience of working with Vilnius Žalgiris as a communication, head of communication department, experience working with some various organizations, but my main task is journalism. I like to speak about football, I like to write about football, and sometimes maybe even think about football.
Well, then we got a proper guest here. If you like to talk about football, two things. You mentioned that you worked in Žalgiris
Yes.
as a communication manager. What was your work back then? Just to compare, because we have also communication managers at some clubs. What were your tasks?
Few clubs.
Yeah, only few.
Well, the main thing was basically the match days, preparation, interviews with players, writing articles, writing some news about the changes in roster and departures, coming, arrivals, and so on. But it was like day by day, every day you speak, you work, you put some messages, articles, videos, photos. At one point, I guess I was a photographer myself. I mean, doing photos, even trying to make some videos, because we had some people in Žalgiris. Žalgiris is a big club in Lithuania with a biggest budget, but still at one point we had some kind of financial problems that you do everything yourself. So in the end, it was a good experience, but I was fed up with it and moved to the journalist work back.
That will never
But
happen.
at the moment you have Žalgiris Udi.
Yeah, that's true. That's from my back in at the days was my one of clubs in Žalgiris.
Working close.
Yeah, because and today I prepared to go to the stadium and to watch Žalgiris play in UEFA Conference League against Munich. So I guess I will put it on me as well. And one more thing. Currently, I am working with women's Žalgiris club as a communication manager. But women's football is a bit different, more like amateur football in Lithuania, or extremely amateur. So it's more like a hobby, not a professional work.
Come on, your national team lost to our team, so I think you're in a bad place right now.
Yeah, well, Estonia won the
Baltic
Cup.
Cup.
Yeah.
Congratulations, guys. Yeah, that's true.
Absolutely. Anything else from his past? I have one, not a question, but you said that you don't have any football journalists in Lithuania, but we have. Estonia is ahead of this.
You have football?
Yes, we have football journalists.
Specifically football
Yes.
journalists. But that's good. That's because we don't have specific mass media for football, only for football. I work part-time in Delphi as well as a sports journalist, but even in Delphi, in the largest media kind of thing in Lithuania, you don't have football or basketball journalists. You just sport journalists writing about everything and with some specific kind of taste for football, for example.
Well, I think actually in Estonia is the same. The situation is the same. It's just we have this portal soccernet.ee, and with the help of football union, actually they are just surviving. That's the reason. There are a lot of, let's say, conspirology theories about that, but we're not going to mention that.
Football union or football federation?
Football
Federation, yeah.
Federation.
yes.
So when you are paid by football federation, it's usually not good in Lithuania. So
Okay, we will talk about it later. Žalgiris then. We are recording on a match day before the match. Žalgiris got to Europa Conference League. Is this considered as a success here? Do people even notice that? How do you rate it?
it's considered a historical success. Nevertheless, Žalgiris is the first team from Lithuania which gets to the group phase of any kind of European tournaments, and it was very big popularity during the road to this conference league. And the first game, even with Basel, was sold out. Crowd was full, the stadium was full, and when you will be tonight, I hope the atmosphere will be as fun as it was 3 weeks ago, or what time it was. Nevertheless, look, we start at 10 p.m. So you can imagine, for Lithuanians, 10 p.m. it's a bit, it's Thursday, it's not Friday, so it's a crazy time. But I hope crowd will be in stadium. A stadium will have a good atmosphere. We have very good fans. Žalgiris have very good fans. Pietų ketvirta, South 4. So they will try to do something crazy, I guess, something fun. And you will have the places next to them, so you will have the best things to. So it was really very big agitage when Žalgiris got in there. But after some time we speak now with Conference League. It's when you are the champion and when you are seeded as Žalgiris, it's harder not to get to the Conference League than otherwise. So I don't know, Estonians this time we didn't manage to get.
Yeah, we didn't have the best campaign in summer. Our champions failed in many ways.
But last year Flora was one of the biggest success story in Lithuania as well.
But if you look at the Žalgiris main squad now, then most of players or all of key players are foreigners. How's the reaction for Lithuanian football community and fans and ultras as well?
Yeah, well, a few years ago I would say it would be negative, but this time when team wins, when team gets to this group phase, everybody says, who cares? They are Žalgiris players, so at least goalkeeper is Lithuanian, and so let's be good to them, because a few years ago it was very big shock when Žalgiris put 11 foreigners into A Liga, into Lithuanian championship game, and even the die-hard fans, they were shocked by that, and they said like, we can't cheer the team which don't have any Lithuanians on the field. But years are passing, and this success brings it a little bit different perspective.
Then only success matters for the fans.
I guess so. But in Lithuania, it's a bit Lithuanian championship is a bit different, because we have a rule that this year at least 3 Lithuanian players have to be all the time on the pitch during the game. If you get injury, so you have to change Lithuanian player to Lithuanian player, or let another. So not 2 but 3, and that's it. 3, 4, 5, but not less than 3.
It's from this year only?
This year. Yeah.
Okay. But talking about Žalgiris, the success with which they have, they are now dominating the league. From what it comes? Is it like purely like buying foreigner players, increasing budget, or maybe some other strategical moves? How they achieve this?
Well, I will go back in time a little bit, and let's say this Žalgiris was a team that was basically born from 2010 season, because in 2009 Žalgiris was in crisis and playing in the second Lithuanian division, and basically just with the help of fans, the same Pietų ketvirta, they managed to survive 1 year. But they would get bankrupted and maybe out of context as historical team. But in 2010 came Vilma Venslovaitienė, Mindaugas Nikoličius, these names that are associated with this present Žalgiris, and they brought some money, and slowly, step by step, Žalgiris came back to this being the strongest team in Lithuania. So from 2013 until 2016, Žalgiris won everything in Lithuania. All the cups, all the champions, all the super cups. And 2017, I was working in the club, and basically it was the time when I guess all the players and coaches were fed up with victories, and we started to lose. And we lost the cup, we lost the champions title, and then came Marijampolė Sūduva. 3 years in a row, Marijampolė Sūduva was the best team in Lithuania. But 2020, Žalgiris somehow managed to win the title. It's a very interesting story. To put it short, last game, Marijampolė has the advantage, but COVID and all Marijampolė players were basically can't play. Yeah, we're sick. And it was, move it away. I mean, let's put this final game somewhere when they will be healthy. But it was not done that. Žalgiris won. They became champions, and basically it was a
turning point.
Yeah, chance for them, because one more campaign that would not get the European bonuses, and I guess Žalgiris would be bankrupted as well, because they had some solid debts. So 2021, last year we won in the end as well against Sūduva, and this year basically we have the same players, the same coaches, so we have a stability. But the main thing is stability, and they played very good in Europe. Other teams in Lithuania, they maybe a little bit stepped back. Sūduva stepped back. So the situation is like Žalgiris is winning against other teams, and other teams are losing points among themselves. So now in the end, Žalgiris can be a champion with 7 games left for them to play. 7 games. So it's hard to imagine this, but it might be in 2 weeks, I guess.
But this, the situation in the league you described, others are losing. Sūduva is getting weaker. Is it only financial reasons, or there are some other reasons for that? It's because I remember Sūduva was like a very strong team, very solid. They were quite close to getting Europa League back then when there was no conference league. They were very close to getting there. Basically, so what happened to them?
Yeah, we are speaking that Sūduva would be in the conference league if the conference league was at that time, because we lost in the European League playoffs. But the main thing, they had Vladimir Čeburin. Vladimir Čeburin, the current head coach of Žalgiris, he worked with Sūduva during these 2017-2019 years, when Sūduva was the most successful and strongest team in Lithuania. And basically it's up to him to say that he managed to transform Sūduva to a winning team. Then he had 1 year off in Kazakhstan, I guess, and then Vilma Venslovaitienė brought him back. And now he is proving that he is one of the most successful managers in Lithuanian football history with all the teams that he worked. But speaking about other teams, I'm not sure it's financial things, because Žalgiris, up to this season, every year had the biggest budget, like 2,200,000 euros, because Žalgiris gets the biggest financial help from Vilnius
government.
Vilnius, this city. It's 1 million now a year. So other teams, they don't get such a lucrative contract.
But there are many teams in Vilnius, and Žalgiris gets the most?
Yeah.
What's the reason behind it?
The reason is that our municipality is a shareholder of Žalgiris. It was done like 9 years ago, and now they put another bit plan that they will give money to the most successful team in Vilnius, which is Žalgiris somehow still, and they give all the money that you can spread, for example, to different clubs. So, but they give all the money to Žalgiris. So that's like
interesting system.
It's the same in Tallinn, but the money is maybe not 1 million, about 50,000 or 100,000.
Oh no, it's not the money for Lithuanian football clubs. No, I'm joking, but it's very, very big detail. How to say? If you want to go to the details, we will not have time for a football in the end. But Žalgiris is the richest club in Lithuania, and even when Sūduva were winning the titles, still Sūduva budget was smaller than Žalgiris. So you can imagine. But I mean, Žalgiris, they were lucky indeed to win this title in 2020, because with title comes bonuses from UEFA, and with bonuses they could repay some debt. So they were going to the debt just to try to win this title.
It's like Barcelona nowadays.
Yeah. But how much money average A League team need to not get relegated for the league?
First of all, if you want to play in A League, you have to have 300,000 euros annual budget.
So Kuressaare couldn't.
It's more than Estonian 5th place holder.
But you never. But no, you have to have, but you never know, because at the beginning of the season, I guess the club owner is saying, "Well, this is the papers, and I have some sponsors who will give me money and so on. So it's 350, but you never know if you will have this 350 in the end. So this year we have one club, Jonava, which basically I don't know how we're playing. Nobody knows because we don't have money in the end, and we have players who are very with interesting background, and from game to game you have some strange histories about the manipulation, match fixing, and so on. So
And still there are some like stories about
this
that.
year is especially, but with one team associated with one team, and maybe we will speak it later. But last week we had another incident in Jonava.
But I think Žalgiris played Jonava, you know?
Yeah, Žalgiris played Jonava, but they are the leaders. Everybody knows that they will win, but I guess they had to win some kind of
With the score, with increased
5
score.
or 4 goals. So we managed to win 4, or at least Jonava managed to lose 4-0, 0-4. But yeah.
But even like a couple of years ago, I remember there was 6 teams in the A League. Was it the same because of the same scandals, match fixing? That was the reason why it was reduced.
Yeah, well, it was everything started in the year 2016 when David Šemberas, one of best football players in Lithuania, Lithuanian football legend, he played last 2 years in Žalgiris. He finished his professional career and he became a Lithuanian A League president. And he came with a very good understanding how this league should function. He said, like, let's put it 8 teams, let's play in 4 rounds, and the 5th round is like 6 teams are playing among themselves for medals. The last 2 teams, one is relegated, another is playing with second division, second team. For 2 years, I guess this was very good, or even for 2 years, very good system, but in the end, everything broke up. Šemberas left the post, financial things, debts, and so on. And in the end, last 2018 maybe, but it was the year, 2 teams in Lithuania were under supervision for match fixing, and we were thrown out of first division from A Liga. And 2019, basically, you start the season with 5 teams, and you start whereas to get the 6th team because. We thought that...
I think there's a rule, you need to have at least 16.
Yeah, at least 16, because whoever wouldn't, in this case, in 5 teams, whoever said it's not legitimate. So they somehow managed to get the 6th team and finished this, but then it was 8 teams, and now it's 10 teams. So we are growing back. And I heard some ideas about some speeches about let's make it 12 or even 16 teams.
It sounds crazy.
But what is your opinion about that? In Estonia, we have also discussions. Do we need 10 teams, maybe 8 or even 12? But our market is small. Our club's budget is also small. We don't have quality players. How do you see it, this situation?
And how much now is in Estonia?
10.
10. So it's basically the same. Well, for me, 8 team was very, very interesting. This situation when the teams are indeed quality teams with financial background, so every game matters, and every game you can expect some kind of interesting results. But then you have like 10 teams now, and one of the teams are really weak and has financial problems, change players, coaches. So maybe better to have 8 teams, but quality teams. On the other hand, I don't know, we say that when you play 5 times in a season with each other, it gets boring. So who knows? I don't have a strict opinion about that.
All right. About A League, something else. Like I see last year's Žalgiris is dominating. Like as you said as well. If we look to the future, how do you think there will be change, or Žalgiris came here to dominate for a long time? How do you feel it yourself?
You know, when last year's Flora played in Conference League but lost the champions crown in Estonia, we were expecting more or less the same scenario here in Lithuania as well. But well, Žalgiris officially will be champions in 2 weeks maybe, so it didn't happen here in Lithuania. And basically, we see it as Žalgiris will have a clear path for Conference League year after year, I guess. And even this year, we had chance to go to a Europa League, because it was basically last game against Ludogorets at home, and one penalty which made a difference. Crazy penalty, but still. So yeah, I think Žalgiris, if the managers or the directors will not make a crazy moves, if they will not blow the club from inside or somehow, so it should dominate for at least 5 years, I guess, next years. So other teams, now we have from the second to the sixth position, the teams who are fighting for European Cup spot, for this Conference League spot, because in Lithuania, second, third, and fourth places guarantee you to get to the Conference League with first qualification.
No, probably second, third, and winner of cup.
Yeah, but
fourth place is usually the one who.
By the way, now it's Thursday. On Sunday, in our new and modern and contemporary football stadium, we will have a Lithuanian Federation Cup final. Žalgiris will play against a team from Kaunas, Hegelman. By the way, Hegelman is the same team that sponsors the cup tournament. So they have the same cup is Hegelman, called Hegelman. So
this is the new club. They are playing.
It's not, like 5 years. History with 5 years. History, they came to A Liga last year, and they're in the 5th position. Now they are 2nd, and basically if they will be in this top 4, so they will anyway get to the Conference League. If they will win the cup, so we will get to the Conference League from the second qualification stage. But I guess Žalgiris still will win the cup, and and second, third, and fourth teams will get to the Conference League. But still, 5 teams are fighting for these 3 spots, and that's the most interesting thing in Lithuanian football right now.
I have one question more about Žalgiris from Kaunas. There's obviously big basketball club, Kaunas Žalgiris, and I heard that they are they want to create a big sports organization with other sports as well. Is this something you see in the future, like Kaunas Žalgiris raising as well, or it's not the case?
I guess everybody, when we speak about big organizations,
because they have stadium as well.
Stadium, we have arena, Žalgiris Arena, which for basketball, but stadium, this new stadium, it's not their stadium, it's a municipality stadium. And nobody still knows who will play in this stadium and how much it will cost. Because you can imagine 15,000 spectators, when Lithuania has average 250 spectators in A Liga club, you will not pay 10,000 euros for a game, club, for renting the stadium. So only with the municipality help you can get the stadium. But Kauno Žalgiris football club, 5 years ago, we were ordinary club called Spyris. Spyris like a kick, like that, yeah. They were in the bottom of A Liga. They even 2 times in a row they finished in the last place. They should have been kicked out of A Liga, but since from a lower division nobody wanted to go to the A Liga, so they stayed.
That's very similar situation.
I guess we have some similarities as well. But then came the day that Kauno Žalgiris basketball club, they said, okay, let's do it. You will become the member of our club, and you will have our name, Kauno Žalgiris football club as well, and let's do this. But few years ago, Kauno Žalgiris basketball club tried to get into their pyramid rugby, women's team, Kauno Žalgiris team, and so on. And in the end, I guess they understood that it's not financially wise, sustainable. Yeah. But the main thing is that in football you can get big money, much bigger than in basketball. Even in Žalgiris place in the EuroLeague, they don't get this money, or they got about the same amount of money if you will play in the Conference League, and at least in 2 stages. So the same, $500,000, and you play in the EuroLeague and you play in the Conference League. It's different. So the idea is maybe that basketball, sooner or later, football will be in the top level of Žalgiris pyramid, Kauno Žalgiris club pyramid, and basketball will be as in Barcelona, Madrid, Real. Clubs are the richest, and everybody else, they just fed from the profit of football clubs.
Okay, that's interesting. But there is still idea to unify them.
Yeah, there's still. But they had idea to unify with handball, rugby, and so on and so on. I guess
these don't get money.
Now they just use money. They don't get any.
But in Estonia, most of the teams are located in Tallinn. you have teams in Vilnius, Kaunas, Panevėžys, and so on, Marijampole. How important it is that the most of the biggest cities in Lithuania are in the big game? And where is the money? Okay, in Vilnius, government pay 1 million, but are they rich owners, governments, public sponsors, or where the money comes?
Let's see in Vilnius example. Right now we have two teams which are from Vilnius officially and play in A League, Žalgiris and Riteriai. Riteriai, a few years ago, they were known as a Trakai. Trakai is a, I don't know.
Yeah,
if
he knows Trakai.
Yeah, it's a small.
I am Kalju fan.
Yeah.
We won Trakai.
Yeah. After that, Evaldas
After that they changed the name.
Yeah.
It was also a match fixing scandal.
Yeah, it was one of them, but nobody had a proof, so at least not an hour.
I think the proof is that they lost to Kalju already, so
Yeah.
that was the biggest proof.
Yeah, but it was the end of career for Evaldas Gelumbauskas in Trakai. So Trakai is a small city near Vilnius with a big, very nice castle and basically a few lakes. And the owner of this club, Jan Nevoina or Ivan Nevoina, he is, he's a rich man who works with oil industry. He sells, he buys, he sells. I don't know what he's doing, but still he has some money, and it's on his investments that Trakai became one of the best teams in Lithuania for some years, and even rivaled with Žalgiris. So he decided to move to Vilnius, and maybe he was wise. He's a wise man. He thought, like, I will come to Vilnius and municipality will give me money as well. But municipality is wise as well. So we said the money will be given to only the most successful team in Vilnius, which is Žalgiris, in 4 years. I mean, period. So we look back, you say, Trakai or Riteriai, we never were above Žalgiris. So Trakai and Riteriai, they are basically one man's investment team, one man's investment project. Žalgiris on there is municipality, and that's it basically. So and European money now. So in other towns, Kaunas has two teams, Kauno Žalgiris and Hegelmann. So Hegelmann is strictly a big logistics company, and they invest their own money. Kauno Žalgiris is basically getting municipality money as well. But
is there same rule in Kaunas?
I don't know how, they just say like we will give money to Kauno Žalgiris. It's easier, I mean. But it's not million, it's like 100 or 200,000 euros, so it's different. Other towns, we don't have this problem because we have only one team from the town. So, and basically, yeah, every team, I guess we would not survive without a municipality help. It's not as big as in Vilnius, but still, if you need to have 300,000 euros for getting into A League, and municipality says, we will give you like 100 or 150, so somehow you will manage to get these another 100 or 150,000 euros somehow. So without municipality, I guess professional football in Lithuania would be completely dead.
Okay, that's interesting. How many people? You said like 250 is average. Like which clubs are the most popular, and is it like how many people are actually coming to the match?
Yeah, this year showed a very interesting thing. Basically, in Vilnius we have the best team, Žalgiris, and Žalgiris used to have some years ago really to draw large crowds to the stadium, but this year in Lithuania we have total decrease of attendance in stadiums, and even like in the Marijampole, which had some 1,000 or 700 medium with attendance years before, they have like 500, and all A Liga, I'm counting by this game day by game day. At summertime it was a bit more bigger attendances, but now it's autumn. We have stadiums when you sit, you are under the rain and cold and so on. Not fun to sit in the autumn. So it's above like 250, 300, and it's historical low for Lithuanian football. For Estonia, maybe it's okay. I mean, I saw it more or less it's the same. But the thing is, in European Cups, Žalgiris draws the full stadium. So you can't say that nobody likes football in Vilnius or in Lithuania in general. But everybody likes quality football, and the football where your team is winning, or you at least can see good opponents and so on. So
people are just bored of the A League, or not interested in that.
And all the possible explanations. When I was working in Žalgiris, the explanations was if we will play on Sunday or on Saturday, nobody will come because everybody will be outside having a good time. Okay, let's play on the weekdays. When you play on weekdays, even less crowd. When you play on weekdays, nobody can come because it's a work time, every tired. So when you want to have excuses, you have million excuses. And Vilnius, 600,000 population, and you gather for a game against Žalgiris Hegelman or Žalgiris Panevėžys, which is like the three strongest team. You have like 300 people in the stadium. I mean, and a few days ago in the Conference League, you have 5,000 people. So where are these all the fans? Nobody knows.
I think that's very similar problem to our football as well, because European Cups we're getting a lot of people. Like it's obvious as well, but we're getting a lot of people, and then 3 days later there's like a league game and there's like 200, 300.
Yeah, but I can imagine football players. One day they are like, "Ooh, let's see, it's a football." I mean, we are in the stadium, it's atmosphere, we're singing, crowd chanting. Next day you play again top 2 team, and you come into you need to win. It's a good game, it's an important game, and you have 300 spectators, and 50 people are from this Pietų Ketvirta who are trying to get this intrigue or emotion and so on. But I want to ask, last year when Flora was playing in Conference League, did you have a full stadium in Tallinn?
It was like very at this time there were COVID restrictions at first, and one of the games were, I think, on empty stadium. In general, it was.
It wasn't not empty, but I think
there was maximum
2,000 or 3,000 was the maximum.
But it's because of I understand.
But it wouldn't be a full stand anyway. It wouldn't be full. Well, the Flora is playing on 15K stadium. It wouldn't be full. I think 7K is max. I think
5, I think.
Because Flora had very bad group in this sense, because like no one knows about Hent or no one cares about Omonia, Cyprus.
We feel you because Žalgiris had the most. Could have before that we spoke about let's take Villarreal, let's say West Ham, anything that with name Fiorentina, for example. No, we got Inter from Slovan from Bratislava, we got Punic from Yerevan, and Basel from Switzerland, which is the strongest team, and nobody knows about Basel. But still, this is the first time, and people came to the stadium, and we were expecting we came to cheer for Žalgiris and to be in the, because we said like we don't know how it feels to play European football in the autumn, in September, in October. Now we got this feeling. I guess we will see how long it lasts.
Let's hope our Baltic teams will experience it more, because Latvian neighbors got as well into the group.
RFS, yes.
But of course, Ventspils got like 15 years earlier into the group as well. I want to change topic slightly. Let's move to your national team. And I think that's even more painful.
We're used to that.
How popular is your national team compared to club football?
I would say popular now. If Žalgiris is popular during the European Cups games, because it's really popular, so national team is usually popular after the games and during the press conference when journalists are fighting with head coach and so on. And so that's the main popularity. But it's very hard for me to say something. I remember the year 2008 when our national team, I guess, was on the all-time highest ranking position in UEFA, like 36 or something. We had a coach from Portugal, José Coseiro, who is now the Portugal Federation technical director. So he's a good specialist. He had the best, basically, generation players from 78 to up to 84. That was born in this Edgaras Jankauskas from 75 as well. And now you compare after 12 years this team with that team, how we managed to get to this point. And I remember that during these times, after a few years, it was the idea like, okay, these Šemberas, Jankauskas, Danilevičius, they are old, they are like 32, 34, old players. Let's make it another generation will come. Let's put them out of the team and let's invite the young players. And I was saying, okay, where are these young players? So let's invite. So it will be, and some coaches said like, after this we will see that we will be even worse and worse and worse. I didn't expect that they are right. I didn't trust them, but now I have to admit that they were really true, because after this generation we didn't have any formidable team to make. And I'm not sure about the coaches. can you blame the coaches if you're the best team player, Arvydas Novikovas, he plays in the Turkey Championship second division. And
So
not
it's your
in-
favorite, it's your best player right now. Best foreign player, I mean.
Yeah, best player of Lithuania 2021.
Okay.
I mean, he is the best. And even this year, we are joking that who will be the best player because everybody is so bleak except the Žalgiris goalkeeper, who is the only one Lithuanian player who plays for Žalgiris in European Conference League. And so you see, he plays good, and we are saying that maybe, well, we don't have any option except him to make him a best player of Lithuania 2022. But yeah, speaking in general about Lithuanian national team, this year in the League of Nations, we had only 1 point against Faroe Islands. And well, when I was speaking,
Who else you had in group? I think you had
we have Turkey.
Turkey. Yes.
But okay, we said Turkey, yeah, they are powerhouse, so no points. But against Luxembourg, so against Luxembourg we will take maybe not 6 but 4, and against Faroe Islands 6 with closed eyes. And in the end you see that 1 point, and we managed this 1 point in the September games at home in our stadium, with spectators who watched and couldn't believe their eyes, because in the first half Lithuania had to defend or basically all the time, or play in their own side, because Faroe was so competitive. So
you're in a crisis right now.
we are in permanent crisis from 2011, I guess. We can't get out of, because this is not the worst Lithuanian team in League of Nations. We have the first experience with Edgaras Jankauskas as a head coach, and the young generation who are now like 4 years older than we played against Serbia, against Romania, and Montenegro. We lost all games, 6 losses, like 2-15, the goal difference. But somehow we didn't manage to get to the D division.
I think that was after that they reformatted. We didn't really get relegated because of that as well.
So and then was the second League of Nations, and it was much better because we had Albania, and Albania played their own games. I don't know if you will watch the victory against Albania that Lithuania won. It was the most interesting goal in our history, because the guy who, from middle maybe, Lithuanian player, he kicked the ball, and everybody watched how the goalkeeper fell, Albanian. One guy tried to kind of get back to the defense, but he eventually ran with the ball to the net, and Albania lost 0-1, and everybody was thinking, well, very interesting game. I mean, how? But nobody had any proofs in the end. So about
it's more than football.
Yeah, it's a nation league. I mean.
Sounds like own goal of our women's national team.
Okay, but this, and during this time we had another kind of optimism, like, oh, we can play, we can win against Albania, win against Kazakhstan, even draw with Belarus. So maybe we're not that bad. But in the end, and poof. And
you will get relegated to D. Do you know who will play in this playoff?
Belarus.
Belarus, okay.
If we will play, because nobody knows. This situation, it will be 2024, and nobody knows if Belarus will be still in the competition, or we will play against them anyways.
Good neighbors. Anything? But how about your youth generation, young, like under those national teams? How they are performing?
Oh, yeah, that's a tough question as well, because there's nothing to be joyful about. I guess the best thing to know how you perform is to play against the Baltic nations in the Baltic Cup. And I don't remember, it was maybe some year that our under-19 won this cup, but usually Latvia is better than Lithuania.
Yeah, this year Latvia won the under-19.
The same situation. Everybody is saying that we lost 10 or 15 years with bad children's coaching. Children's football was very low level, so now we don't have these good quality players. Let's wait another 10 years. Now our children will be working again, like we had some Anderlecht coaching methodology for children for 3 years. And so now it will be different after 10 years, but I'm not sure if I want to wait 10 years to understand is it different or not. Because everybody is saying, okay, we are making step by step, we are going forward. But everybody else in Europe, we are not step by step, we are just running fast away from us. So In the end, maybe we will just compete with Baltic neighbors and
But you have academies as well in Lithuania.
a lot of them.
But is there coaches or foreigners or local trainers?
Local. Yeah, maybe 90%, 95% are local trainers. So local coaches, and yeah, it's a lot of talks about that you have to invest in the local coaches to let them get knowledges to be to raise their quality. Everything is okay, but you have to do it, not to speak about it. And it seems to me that we speak and speak and speak, and if somebody is doing, so it's on the local basis. One academy is doing, another academy is doing, but still lots of things to do, and we don't have this one good strategy that would show that in 5 years we have to do this, and this. We are basically only talking about it.
But what do you think? Is it even possible to grow up Lithuanian player to being the top player in European leagues?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, I have friends in let's say Vilnius Football Academy. It's a new kind of project, and Darvydas Šernas, he was forward in Lithuanian team 1 year, 2010. I guess he was best Lithuanian player of the year. He established this academy. He finished his professional career like 3 years ago. He established this academy, and he put the goal to during 10 years he want to make at least one player who will play in Champions League anywhere. I mean, in any club. We speak about it a lot, and I am not sure that in Lithuania you can raise the quality player, because you can have the best coaches, you can have the best facilities, but this guy, this kid, he needs to have quality around himself, not only in the academy, but other academies as well, to compete against them. So another thing is, maybe you raise it until 13, 14, and you get him to Italy or Germany or to other academies where he can be in the higher competition level. Maybe this is the decision, I don't know. And so far nobody knows, because our academies,
It's a process. It's a long process.
yeah, our academies take every kid who comes, because kid's father will pay like 80 euros or 100 euros for training in a month in Vilnius. It's like now it's 100 basically. It's for a month, just for 3-4 training sessions in a week, 1 month. So you pay this. So every kid is valuable in this case. But when the kid is 14, 15, 16, 100 is not enough, and you can't ask more, because
It's more than business.
Yeah,
than,
so
growing the players.
So we have a lot of academies, but maybe like 70% of them, they work with the kids who are up to 13, because they are valuable. They give you money. After that, they say like, okay, thank you very much. Now you can go to, if you are good enough, go to another academy, top academies, and we will take another groups of small children.
How do you guys think about? I'll change slightly topic. What do you think about like Baltic Cup? Is it like important for you? Do you follow it, or is it just like
National team,
Yeah,
yeah.
national teams.
It's important, because I remember in 2011 Lithuania last time won this Baltic Cup, and after that it was 2013. I was invited to Lithuanian Football Federation, and at that time Robertas Tautkus, he was manager of national teams. He showed us very big cup. He said like, look at this cup, it will be ours, because we made it for ourselves. It's new cup. The last one was a shit cup. We lost it and somewhere. So this, and we will have it. And from 2013 we didn't have any cups of Baltic. I mean, every time we go into this tournament with high hopes, usually the goal is one, to win it, and we can't win in. I don't know. This time it will be in November,
Yeah.
and we will play in the semi-final against
Iceland.
But I
I
have
think it's a conspiracy from
I have
Latvia and
I have
Estonia.
information that Iceland will send the second team, not the first team. So maybe we will have a chance.
No.
Still not.
And in the final we will meet you or Latvian. Who cares? I mean, but one thing is our situation. We have now the coach who is he is technical director of federation, Reinhold Bru, and he became coach of national team just because Evaldas Gelumbauskas was sacked in the June after he lost like 4 games in a row with big goal difference and so on, and everybody were angry at him. He was angry at everybody, so we said like, okay, we have this technical director. He worked with Luxembourg for 10 years. He managed some kind of youth teams. He is a good guy. He knows everything about football. Let's put him in a national team and he will show. Okay, he showed 1-1 with Faroe Islands and we lost to Luxembourg. But still, in November he will manage the team. But he said already that, okay, I'm not prepared to sit on the two positions. So I will try to find another head coach, but for 2023. So during November period, Baltic Cups, he will be a head coach. I'm not sure like who will come, what kind of players will come, and what kind of motivation we will have. One main thing is we will play the semi-final in Kaunas in this new stadium. It will be a first game for national team. So maybe if we will draw like 15,000 fans to the stadium, which is for November might be crazy, but
free alcohol and then big motivation.
You know that this stadium will have a roof against, so you can even during November rain you can sit inside and have a good time. So I hope we will get to the finals and maybe who knows, maybe we will win and the coach will say like, okay, I'm a good coach and I will stay here. I'm a better coach when I'm a technical director.
But what do you think about not national teams, but on a club level? What do you think about? This is like theoretical question. Baltic League. I think how many? 15 years ago they tried something similar.
But in 2006.
But I heard
even
that
in 2008, FBK Kaunas, powerhouse at that time of Lithuanian football, they won the Baltic club's final against Riga, Skonto, Riga. I remember this because I was working with some kind of television and we'd have a translation. For me personally, I was always I wondered why it's so unpopular, because it looks very interesting for fans to see Latvian clubs playing against Lithuanians from my point of view, Estonian football and so on. But for clubs, it's not interesting. It's a burden because you don't have any.
There's no motivation.
Yeah. So we put like second teams, young players. Came team from Latvia. You don't know. You know the main players. You see, they don't know main players. Unknown players playing in. So it was a few years ago the idea that to make it one more time this Baltic Club League or tournament with some commercial benefit. Like Liutauras Varanavičius, former head of Lithuanian Football Federation, he works in banks with insurance, with money, and he said that he can gather with friends like 20 million or something euros or some kind of bonuses, and to make this as a motivation fund, because in Baltic League when you play you don't have UEFA Cups. I mean, so you have to play it extra time somewhere. But with money, if you will get money for victories, for places, maybe it could work as a motivation for clubs. But first of all, you have to have money. And he only promised, but nobody saw these millions.
But potentially, if there will be money in like motivation, that would be interesting.
For me, yes. But for club owners, I'm not sure. No, I was thinking about maybe these clubs like Žalgiris, RFS, Riga, Flora, Tallinn. As a champions, they get bonuses. They had big bonuses, and Žalgiris, they already have 4 million euros from this European campaign, and it's not over. Still, they can get something more if they win or get draws. But for us, maybe second-tier clubs who are not getting into European Cups, financial benefit will be a good motivation. On the other hand, do you want to have Norma Kalju playing against Šiauliai or something? Is it interesting to see like not the best clubs of Baltic football playing against each other? That I'm not sure about.
Well, there's always there's never enough money, so that can solve that. But since we're talking about like Baltics in general, and how do you you personally, maybe like football people here in Lithuania, how do you see Estonian football? What do you know? What do you notice? What's the most interesting for you?
Basically, was last year's Flora, which was like a flash, and not because we got to the Conference League's groups, but because we got it with Estonian players, only Estonian players. And for Lithuanians, usually we don't pay attention to Estonian football because it's historical that we are superior than Estonia. I don't know. I still speak with these coaches who from 90s, 80s Žalgiris, and we say, during my time, Estonia didn't have football at all. And when we came to Estonia, we could drink all night and then go to the pitch and score 5 goals. And okay, but now it's different times, you see, and it's different. But we don't know much about Estonia. Maybe some kind of scandals about match fixing from Narva, I guess, or somewhere you got.
Flora Estonian squad and Narva match fixing. Fantastic.
but Flora was a highlight, and I guess the image of Flora, it made to make these changes in Lithuanian A League, because last year we had the highest percentage of foreign players, and usually you had 2 or 3 Lithuanian players, even 1-2 players from both teams playing during the A League game. And when we saw that Flora with local players are playing in Conference League, it was like, okay, let's make it that Lithuanian players will play in A League or somewhere. So it was a rule from this year that 3 players in every team have to be from Lithuania and have to be all the time, 90 minutes. You can change, but change Lithuanian players or put more Lithuanian players. But still, we have like, during the game, we have 6 Lithuanian players from both sides. But about Estonian, we know only this, and we know that Estonian team showed good results in D division, and you should go to C division, yes?
Yeah, we'll go there.
Latvia as well. So, and Lithuania might be relegated. So
And we are going to the Euro 2024.
wow, you will win with the super final.
Yeah, we are going to win this.
No, but that's can you imagine like being in the D division and suddenly you are poof in 2024 European Championship.
Yeah, there is an option where Estonian team can go to playoffs against A division teams who are not qualified. There's very my English is not so good to explain it, but we can have a chance
But
to
you
play.
believe that you can do it?
No, we
I believe.
Yeah, he believes it.
Okay, now somebody has to believe, because otherwise.
He and our union president believe.
But your president's the same guy, still very
Yeah.
charismatic person. So
Yes, very
The same.
charismatic. Yes.
because in Lithuania we don't have such a charismatic persons in our. Now it's Tomas Danilevičius. He was a good player, but.
But your presidents are changing as well quite often, or how?
Well, I can count 1, 2, 3, 4,
And that's only
5 players, 5 presidents during
Last year.
30 years.
okay, 40 years.
30 years. No, we are not changing so rapidly. But now we have. You can't be a president more than 2 cadences,
Okay. And how much is one?
4 years.
Okay, so not more than 8 years.
But then you can take 4 years off and come back for another 2.
Okay, now you said it in Estonian podcast. It might be considered as a wrong idea, so we need to cut it off.
Not good, yes.
unfortunately. Not good. But probably we will record with another podcast with you in 10 years, and we'll have same charismatic person there. So.
Absolutely.
But you see, he is doing a good job. At least from Lithuanian point of view, it's a general opinion that he is doing a good job in Estonia. And I can't argue, because I don't know much bad things about Estonia, but I see that it's more or less stable championship. Flora was playing in Conference League. You have a lot of grown local players playing in champions, in this highest division of champions. So up to me, and your national team is showing better result than Lithuania. So it looks like you are on the right patch, or right way. Maybe with Latvia as well, who knows? Or maybe we are just thinking so, going down so.
I think we all 3 are absolutely bottom of the Europe, and it's not a very big success.
Yeah, that's true.
Anything else you want to ask us? Maybe something which is bothering you. But as you said, Lithuanians are not interested in Estonian football too much. So I don't know.
No, the thing is that I don't know if we have any Lithuanian footballers who are playing in Estonia right now, because years and years ago we had.
10 years ago was
Yeah.
very
So-
Lithuanian players.
So is it because Estonian clubs don't want to hire foreign players, or just Lithuanians are so low quality that they don't use
Low quality.
First of all, your low quality, yes, but then there's this rule that you must have 5 or 6. How many? 5 right now, 5.
Right now 5. Yeah.
But next year you can have 6 foreigner players on the
Okay,
field.
and how is with this free labor force from the European Union countries moving, and you in Lithuania we said you can't have restrictions on European Union countries players because it's wrong, and it's like a Botsman rule, from all time. So how you can do this? Because in Lithuania we did it opposite. We showed that it's not 5 foreigners, but it's 3 local players.
Yeah, in Estonia it's the same.
Yeah,
it's written then you need
so
25
the-
Estonian players.
Okay. So we are step by step. You will have how many players next year?
6.
6. So we will have 4, and in the end it will be 11.
Yeah.
So but yeah. And another question is, so who will win this year's?
Flora has won already.
it's
Five
won.
rounds before the end of the.
So it's not different than Žalgiris.
No, Flora will manage it for next. I guess if nothing goes really like wrong, I think in next 10 years they will win probably 8 or 9.
And they are
championships.
still playing on the local players.
Yes.
Good, well, interesting. So but we when we were discussing this Flora phenomenon, we said like it's not like we took the best players before the season and we won it. We are growing with players in their academy, or
What the Flora does, okay, this you mentioned before. If we go to details, we need another podcast.
Okay.
But what Flora does is that Flora and Football Union are very tightly together, and Flora is basically. Oh my God! I don't want to mention some wrong stuff, but basically Flora is getting best young players when they are 16, 17. They're getting into their team, and then if you get like 10 good players, 2 of them will become good players anyway. So
Okay.
and that's how they. But of course,
They are growing too.
yeah, they're growing
Team
as well,
yeah.
and they're giving chances them as well. That we cannot take away. They are giving chances to young players, and then they kind of develop as well.
okay. So speaking about what I would like to see maybe in the future, maybe I would like to see the 3 best teams of Baltic states playing in the
Like
one
Super Cup tournament or something like that.
like that. And it will be really interesting to see, but it should be competitive, not like pre-season, warm up or so on.
Before the Euro games in the summer.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
will be
that would
great.
be great.
And I remember Žalgiris was playing against Riga first, against Flora, but it was friendly games, so you never know how real.
Yeah, friendly games are
Yeah.
boring. Yeah, I agree.
So, but I don't know if it's possible in reality, and how big cash or money flow you need for that to keep them motivated. But I would like to see that in the end.
All right, I think we covered more or less everything, and thank you, Evaldas, for this. I don't know how much we talked actually, but probably around hour.
I can say it.
It's not 3 hours. Usually our
it is,
podcast.
Around hour, yeah.
Yeah, around
good.
hour. Yeah.
So thank you very much. I think next time we'll be here. We know who to contact and to have episode number 2.
And next time after 10 years, or
Or when you are coming to Estonia, know who to write, and then we can have opposite counter-attack episode, right? Where we can
Okay.
talk about Estonian
Okay.
football. So yeah, it was Evaldas. I don't know how to pronounce your surname correctly, so I'm not going to try.
sport journalist and so on.
Yeah, Ivan, Mario, and
Yeah.
just subscribe to our channels, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, good luck for Žalgiris.
Sėkmės.